Let's head to the papers now, see what the headlines are this morning. And I have with me journalist Charles Ideho in the studio and public affairs analyst Razak Olukoba. Gentlemen, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mike.
Nice to see
Good
you.
morning, viewers at home.
Exactly. Let's begin with the Daily Trust. That's where we start from this morning. Obasanjo to Buhari, Nigeria approaching tipping point. And mind your utterances, Presidency tells leaders. Okay, you find that on the front page of the Daily Trust. Blueprint is where we go next. INEC, APC, Buhari to PDP and Atiku. Video evidence empty, lacks probative value. You find that on the front page of the Blueprint. Let's go to the News Direct now. News Direct. End insecurity across Nigeria. Obasanjo to Buhari and warns of civil war. Advocates dialogue to end insecurity. Mieti Allah calls for Obasanjo's arrest. Okay, you find that on the front page of the News Direct. Good. Let's move now to The Guardian. The Guardian is where we go next now. The Guardian says the Balarabe Musa urges anti-Buhari protest as Nigerians back Obasanjo. Balarabe Musa urges anti-Buhari protest as Nigerians back Obasanjo. Ariwa studies letter to make known position later. And Yoruba leaders, Pandef, want Presidency to take action. And PDP says it's vindicated on failure of Chief Security Officer. You find all that on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. All right, let's move now to The Nation. The Nation newspaper says Obasanjo to Buhari, act now to keep Nigeria one. Act now to keep Nigeria one. Don't politicize Olakunrin's death. Presidency urges leaders. Adibanjo, Balarabe Musa, Sage disagree on ex-president's letter. You find all that on the front page of The Nation. Okay, from there, let's go to the Nigeria Tribune now. Tribune is where we go next. Obasanjo, in open letter to Buhari, Nigeria on the edge of precipice, calls for national debate on security challenges. Ohaneze, Afenifere, IYC, PDP back ex-president. We'll make our position known soon. The ACF, that's the Arewa Consultative Forum, saying that. I don't see patriotism in this letter. Yakasai is saying that. Mieti Allah calls for Obasanjo's arrest. Okay, you find all that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Okay, moving forward now to the Vanguard. Vanguard is where we go next now. New letter to Buhari on insecurity. Danger ahead if Nigerians resort to self-help. Obasanjo is saying this. We are with Obasanjo on this, Ohaneze, and the South and Middle Belt Leaders Forum. We are studying the letter. ACF is saying that. Olakunrin, mind your utterances. Presidency warns leaders. You'll find all that on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, The Sun is where we go next now, and the last one. Let's see how bright this side is right now. Anger over insecurity. I fear uprising, Nigeria's breakup. Obasanjo is warning here through his letter. Ex-president, cloud is gathering, rain of destruction, violence, disaster, and disunity can only be outcome. You find all that on the front page. And Atiku, enough of talks. Protect Nigerians now. And let's watch our language. Presidency fires back. You find all that on the front page of the Daily Sun. All right, gentlemen. What is making the buzz right now is the open letter from the former President Olusegun Obasanjo to President Buhari, and there has been lots of reaction. I like the way Tribune tries to break it down here by, talking about reactions from different social-cultural groups across Nigeria. But let me start with you, Razak. This is not the first letter, second, third letter from the president. This is not new. One would say all the issues raised there are also not new issues, but we still have these issues that are being warned about with us. What's your take on this letter, this latest letter from the former president?
In nation building, all of us has a role to play. And the media has occupied a very credible platform and has played a very wonderful role in the past. At times, I'm shocked that prominence is given to ex-president's letter in this manner. why will you give...
If the former president speaks, shouldn't it be
what is important is 250 million Nigerians, either present or past president, regardless of your status. It's not important as Nigerians. What I'm saying is that people prefer solutions to what the students have found ourselves every... But you see media putting in a very obscure place this insurgency that is bedeviling the nation. This insecurity that is bedeviling the nation. About 2 weeks ago, I was shocked when I didn't see how the army staff encourage and boost the morale of soldiers, giving them various degree of award for their gallantry. It didn't make newswave. People prefer solution. I have read people on my way to this place, and I see many people talking about what is the way out of the story. You can't be talking about agonizing, putting us through agony every day, every day. And I've read through Obasanjo's letter from the first letter he has been written in the days of the military to today. This is the pattern of the letter. He is always a prophet of woe. Nigeria is going to break. Nigeria is going to do this. And he always omits his own 80 years of administration. He won't talk about it, that I'm also part of the problem. So we don't have more than one nation. And I want Nigerians to discountenance what Obasanjo has said. We know the situation we find ourselves.
Nigerians should
if I am broke, what you can't be telling me all the time that Razak, we are broke. Yes, of course, you have to remind me that I'm broke. But what is the way out of my economic recession?
But in this particular letter,
he is not talking about solution. He didn't provide.
He provided some solution.
What was the
solution? He was talking about the issue of dialogue. He was talking about the issue of engagement.
Engaging.
He talked about dialogue, and he even mentioned names of people. He mentioned classes of people.
You have to define if you want people to dialogue. You have to define. We have said it often and often again that. Obasanjo did his own conference of friends. He gathered his friends to talk. Who did that became enemies of each other? That's not the kind of the dialogue we are talking about.
All right, Razak, I'll come back to you. Charles, let's hear you now. The point there is that all these issues raised by the president, certainly someone will say they are not new. But the warnings he has put out there, the issues, the challenges for which he is writing these letters are still with Nigerians. And Nigerians are complaining from every part of the country now. No one is safe. Just days ago, in fact, Nigerians are still mourning. Nigerian leaders, even Nigerians as a whole, are still, have not forgotten the Fashoranti's daughter who was killed in Ondo State.
Well, I'm shocked that my friend Razak has attempted to belittle the value.
No, but he's entitled to his opinion.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's my friend. You know what I'm saying. Why I'm saying so is that Obasanjo, before we came on, I was talking about Obasanjo being the only former president still talking. You see, the thing is that a father of a nation, just like every biological father, when you see things going wrong in your home, you don't keep quiet. You will point them out and say, if you don't do this, this might happen. That's what Obasanjo do. I may not be a fan of his for a number of reasons. But I read through that letter, and Obasanjo actually proposed solution. What should be done for us not to throw the way of Rwanda? What caused the genocide in Rwanda was a song by a musician that was aired on radio.
A radio presenter.
A radio presenter. It was a song, just a song, and then the whole country became, conflagration everywhere.
There has been, in the Rwandan case, there were build-ups to it.
Yeah, but I didn't know build-ups to this.
The radio broadcast was just the final
But okay, let me ask you, I didn't know build-ups to it. Okay, on the one hand, you have the insurgency that has refused to go. Then coupled with that, now you now have banditry, you have kidnapping, you have not even people have been taken. Okay, broad daylight, people are being raped, people can't go to their farms anymore. Are they not point out to insecurity in the system? So what Obasanjo is saying is that, look, Mr. President, you are the be-all and end-all of our life in Nigeria. You are the C&C, that's Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. You are the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The buck stops at your table. What you need to do this, point, bullet point 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So I think a responsible and responsive government, what it should do, look at that letter. You may not like the messenger, but take the message as it concerns the 250 million he talked about, and look at how we can stem the tide. Look, we are drifting. It is all even blind men, even people who are deaf and and they can see the drift. So what do? Somebody has to talk. And that's why he's talking as the father of the nation.
Okay. Razak.
We have documented roles played by everybody. Obasanjo is part of the reason why we find ourselves where we are.
But he's been out of government for a long time now.
In 1999, we engaged him that the way Nigeria is structured, it will lead us to where we are today. So I don't think Obasanjo is an authority on the, should be giving authority to contribute on this matter.
You can't take experience from a man.
The point there is that it was a two-time president.
Yes, exactly. Former President Obasanjo is one of the most experienced head of state Nigeria ever had.
What I'm saying is a build-up to what I wanted to say.
Okay.
A two-time president. It is deliberate that
just like the president now too.
Yes, it is deliberate that Obasanjo did not want to do the right thing for Nigeria.
Why is that?
And I'm beginning to look at Obasanjo as part of the agents who want to disintegrate Nigeria.
Why is that?
There were warnings by international community. The way Nigeria goes about in Africa, keeping peace, people who sell bullets and guns all over the world are not happy with Nigeria, and they want to make sure that we stop that campaign, we stop that profile, we stop that role we are playing in Africa. And that report suggests that many African leaders are also buying into that. And I've been beginning to identify.
But the point there is, if we have to go by what you just said, what is the government now doing about that to maintain the stand and maintain the leadership on the African continent?
Yeah, Nigeria has always been playing that role. Yeah. They have not desisted from playing that role. They are still on that path. But more importantly, what we should be talking about now as part of the solution, it's not dialogue that Obasanjo is talking about, is to reframe and restructure Nigeria.
Which is what he's saying.
He's talking about dialogue.
No, but if you don't dialogue, how do you get where
all right, gentlemen.
Dialogue is different.
All right, gentlemen.
When you
compare
dialogue is restructuring.
Yes.
If you say dialogue, you are pettifying the solution.
Gentlemen,
the solution of Nigeria is more fundamental than a dialogue.
Yes, Razak, we have to leave you here, unfortunately. We don't have all the time, unfortunately, but this is a debate that is going to be on for the rest of the week. Yes. So let's see how the debate goes on. Certainly more Nigerians are going to react to this. So let's wait and see how it plays out. Right. Razak Olukoba, thank you very much for coming on the program. Charles Ideho, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Business. It's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio journalist Charles Ideho and public affairs analyst Razak Olukoba. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on TVC Breakfast. Good morning. All right, let's head straight to the papers, and I start with the Daily Trust. Obasanjo to Buhari, Nigeria approaching tipping point. Mind your utterances, Presidency tells leaders. And we'll move on to the front page of the blueprint. INEC, APC, Buhari to PDP, Atiku. Video evidence empty, lacks probative value. And on the front page of News Direct, end insecurity across Nigeria, Obasanjo to Buhari, warns of civil war, advocates dialogue to end insecurity. Miyetti Allah calls for Obasanjo's arrest. On the front page of The Guardian, Balarabe Musa urges anti-Buhari protests as Nigerians back Obasanjo. Arewa studies letter to make known position later. Yoruba leader Spandef want Presidency to take action. PDP says it's vindicated on failure of Chief Security Officer. To the front page of The Nation newspaper now. Obasanjo to Buhari, act now to keep Nigeria one. Don't politicize Olakunrin's death, Presidency urges leaders. Adebanjo, Balarabe Musa, Sage disagree on ex-president's letter. And to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, Obasanjo in open letter to Buhari, Nigeria on the edge of precipice. Calls for national debate on security challenges. Ohaneze, Afenifere, IYC, PDP back ex-president. Will make our position known soon, ACF. That's Arewa Consultative Forum. I don't see patriotism in his letter, Yakasai. Miyetti Allah calls for Obasanjo's arrest. To the front page of the Vanguard, new letter to Buhari on insecurity. Danger ahead if Nigerians resort to self-help, Obasanjo. We are with Obasanjo on this, Ohaneze, SMBLF. We are studying the letter ACF. Olakunrin, mind your utterances. The Presidency wants leaders. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Sun, anger over insecurity, I fear uprising, Nigeria's breakup, Obasanjo. Ex-President, cloud is gathering. A reign of destruction, violence, disaster, and disunity can only be outcome. Atiku, enough of talks. Protect Nigerians now. Let's watch our language. Presidency fires back. Gentlemen, we will be looking at this issue on former President Olusegun Obasanjo's letter to the President and talking about the security situation of the country, and several reactions from even on the front page of the newspapers have portrayed it. The reactions coming from leaders, some leaders, and the presidency's fired back saying, let's watch our language. Now, when you look at the letter, Obasanjo painted a picture of the security situation, and some from the reaction are saying he is politicizing the issue, especially the death of Afeniferi's leader's daughter, and some have said that this is unpatriotic. I'll start with you, Charles.
Well, I don't know what's the definition. Whether patriotism has assumed a new definition, I don't know, because the dictionary definition of patriotism remains how it was even while we were in secondary school in those days. It has not changed. What's unpatriotic in a leader, he's still a leader, a former president, pointing out what we have on ground, things that are very glaring and they are staring us in the face. Everyone in this country knows that insecurity is #1 problem we have in this country. And it does seem as if the government in place is doing something but not doing enough. And somebody is coming to remind them, please, do this, so that we will not have to face.
Was it necessary to be reminded by this letter? Because when he said that let those who it seemingly have effective solutions have access to this letter, is he trying to say that the government is not doing enough? Perhaps that is the perspective.
Yeah, if government were to be doing enough, for instance, why are we still having insurgencies still staying notified when we have a well-trained army that could rout that even within a week? Why are we still having insurgency? Why are we still having the one in the northwest, armed banditry,
yes,
and has also taken to national stage? Why have we continued to have kidnapping that just started like a child's play? Today now it has assumed a national image. Why are we having that? If the government were to be doing enough, are you saying that it couldn't have even nipped these things in the bud? Okay, if it didn't nip in the bud, why has the government not done everything possible to make sure that these things are mitigated? But what we have, you find people are losing their lives, people can't go to their farms anymore, the economy is suffering, and everybody, even traveling, even right now, even when you travel from interstate traveling, it's a problem. You travel from, I was going to Akure the other day, Wikiti. We're supposed to have driven through Ibadan. But they said that road is dangerous. What did we do? We had to do like Israel's journey by going to Ore. Ore we now took a detour. That's not how it's supposed to be. When you're in a country that is safe, you can run your businesses without even having to look over your shoulder. But every day you want to leave your home to even ease yourself outside. You must look left, you look right. Whether if somebody's
but some would say that these problems have always been amongst us.
Good, it was there. That's why we now brought this president to help us solve it, because we knew that in his first coming in 1983-1984, we saw a semblance of somebody who could actually wrest insecurity and wrest it and then take it away from the system. So when he offered himself to serve us in 2014, most of us were killed behind him. So we have indeed found a political messiah, but it doesn't seem as if it's working.
Let's get Razak's position to this issue now. How important is this letter? Do Nigerians need to be reminded of the security situation that especially been painted by former President Olusegun Obasanjo?
I don't think it is correct in the first instance to give prominence to Obasanjo's letter.
Why is that?
It was part of people that led us. He led us for over a decade. Add the military era to the civilian era. And the appropriate thing he should have done that time, he didn't do it. We have engaged him that a time will come where ethnic group will hold another ethnic responsible for his problem under this political structure. He didn't feel important. So reminding us, it's like reminding us that I led into this. So
really?
Yes, that's what he's doing, because
so
he should be
should
apologizing
forget
to
the
us.
content of the message?
Yes, he should be apologizing to us. Now, he had the golden opportunity to reverse this political trend that led us into it, because it is the way this nation is structured. That is why each ethnic is taking it out on each other. If you restructure a nation where each ethnic group can mind their own business, the way we have our own peculiarities, we will be finding this. Yes. Now, this security is a global challenge. Best army in the world they are in Afghanistan. They have not been able to solve this security in Afghanistan. They are in Pakistan, they are in Iran. Why are they not be able to do that? Because there is a global contradiction all over the world. The new ideology in the world is what led us to
But Nigeria, as he said, is getting to a tipping point. Let's bring it home. Are we doing what we are supposed to do to ensure that Nigerians are safe?
His recommendation is bringing nothing home. He said we should be dialoguing.
Yes.
Eat meat pie and go back home again.
That is not what it is.
The solution.
That is not what it is.
What the nation needs is a fundamental solution that is aware of. Obasanjo likes the structure as it is today. And that is why he's talking about talking to each other. It's a partifying the solution. What we need in Nigeria is realignment. Let's have a brand new nation. Let's have a restructured Nigeria. We've been saying this for 30 years.
A brand new nation on what basis, Razak?
On the basis of making the center so weak that nobody.
But who is going to do that? Somebody who is the beneficiary of a strong center?
He's indirectly calling for that.
Not calling for it.
He's indirectly calling for that.
It will register in our political psychology if it's coming from Obasanjo.
But the man himself is telling the president, look, these things are here. Why don't you do something about it? You said the letter is not relevant.
Each time Obasanjo doesn't get perks of office from the people in power. This is what it leads to.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it is proper to give prominence to what Obasanjo is saying.
But you can't wish him away.
Charles, we have to leave it at this point, gentlemen.
Your father can't be taunting you with problem he led you into.
All right, we have to leave it at this point, gentlemen. Charles Ideho, Razak Olukoba, thank you for your time.
To the paper straight now and see what the headlines are this morning. And I have with me Charles Ideho as well as Razak Olukoba. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming.
My good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, viewers.
Exactly. Let's begin with Daily Trust this morning. Daily Trust, Obasanjo to Buhari, Nigeria approaching tipping point. Mind your utterances, Presidency tells leaders. Okay, that's on the Daily Trust. Blueprint is next now, and it says INEC, APC, Buhari to PDP and Atiku. Video evidence empty, lacks probative value. You find that on the front page of the Blueprint. News Direct is next now. End insecurity across Nigeria. Obasanjo to Buhari warns of civil war, advocates dialogue to end insecurity. Miyetti Allah calls for Obasanjo's arrest. Okay, you find all that on the front page of the News Direct. The Guardian is where we go next now. Balarabe Musa urges anti-Buhari protest as Nigerians back Obasanjo, and the Arewa studies letter to make known position later. And Yoruba leader Spandev warned Presidency to take action. PDP says it's vindicated on failure of chief security officer. You find that on the front page of The Guardian. The Nation is next now. The Nation says Obasanjo to Buhari, act now to keep Nigeria one. Don't politicize Olakunrin's death. Presidency urges leaders. Adebanjo, Balarabe Musa, Sage disagree on ex-president's letter. You find that on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And the Nigeria Tribune is next right now. Obasanjo, in open letter to Buhari, Nigeria on the edge of a precipice, calls for a national debate on security challenges. Ohaneze, Afanifere, IYC, PDP back ex-president. Will make our position known soon. ACF, as the Arewa's Consultative Forum, is saying that. I don't see patriotism in this letter. Yakase is saying that Miyetti Allah calls for Obasanjo's arrest. You find that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. The Vanguard is where we go next now. New letter to Buhari on insecurity. Danger ahead if Nigerians resort to self-help. Obasanjo is saying that in his letter. We are with Obasanjo on this. Ohaneze Ndigbo is saying that, and the South and Middle Belt Leaders Forum is saying that. We are studying the letter. Arewa Consultative Forum says that. And Olakunrin, mind your utterances. Presidency warns leaders. Okay, and the Daily Sun is the last one now we look at. anger over insecurity. I fear uprising, Nigeria's breakup. Obasanjo is quoted as saying that ex-president, cloud is gathering, reign of destruction, violence, disaster, and disunity can only be the outcome. Atiku, enough of talks. Protect Nigerians now. Let's watch our language. Presidency fires back. All right, gentlemen, the debate about the letter, or the debate over the letter of former President Olusegun Obasanjo has been on. Nigerians have been doing a lot of talking about this. But in all of this, let's look at the way forward from what the president has said, from what Nigerians are saying, and all of that. Whether we like this person or we don't like the other person, Nigeria still remains bigger than any single individual. Moving forward and projecting forward, what can really be done when it comes to harnessing and uniting one common front for all the North, the South, the East and West to stand together on one front and fight together to ensure there is peace and security? Razak, let me start with you.
You start with the politicians. We must encourage the politicians to be patriotic, because introducing politics into providing solutions to Nigeria will continue to hang the fate of Nigeria in the balance. So we have to encourage them, because political class, no matter how progressive or repressive the ideology of that party is, has his own follower. And Nigerians take it serious, whatever each politician says, like what Obasanjo said. Now, I totally disagree with it that Obasanjo is trying to be smart in a very ridiculous manner. So the fate of Nigeria should be paramount to them. Moving forward should be paramount to them. And we should stop pretending as if we don't know the solution to Nigerians' problem. Virtually every problem in the world has faced similar challenges Nigerians has faced. When it is time to provide solutions, they put sentiment and crisis, problem they had with each other aside, and they survive it. So if we want to survive the problem facing us as a nation, we have to put it behind us and admit that there should be a rearrangement in the way Nigeria is sitting politically. If you don't like my face, and it is just face you like, we have to change the sitting position. And that sitting position is what we have to make us tango
continually.
Yeah,
and
to
be
continue.
Together.
So and be together. So what I'm saying in essence is that the structure of Nigeria should be designed in a way that Yoruba will love the Hausa people, Igbo will love the Ijaw people. The way it is structured now, it is designed in a way that we will never love each other. That's the way Nigeria is designed. So let's admit that something is wrong with Nigeria, and in providing solution, whether it is Buhari that is there, whether it is someone that will come after Buhari that is there, let us agree that moving Nigeria forward is more important than the hatred I have for Buhari. It's important.
All right. Charles, when it comes to the division on political lines, we had expressed that, in fact, democratically is allowed.
That's right.
In fact, politics is about conflict resolution.
That's right.
Who gets what, where and how, when and how. But we are done with that now. That has come and gone. Now it is Nigeria. Now is the way forward. Yeah. When it comes to uniting Nigerians and ensuring that the Nigerian oneness goes ahead, what steps should be put forward now? What should we be looking at?
Well, let me tie into what Razak said earlier. First of all, we need to look at the political class, because most of the disputes we're having today, political disputes, ethno-religious disputes, are caused by the political class. When we were growing up in the 80s, those I was telling him back in Bende, nobody ever hated any Fulani man, because we were living, they were passing through our villages and so on. We saw them as part of us. People from Bende in those days, they would go to the north and live there, and people were just going everywhere knowing that. But until the political class now saw a reason to divide us for their own interest. Look at when Jonathan was there as the president. Okay, so there was the tendency to gravitate towards the Ijaw nation. Then what did you have then? You had the disputes of the Niger Delta. That was what was the front burner. Niger Delta everywhere, because Jonathan was there. The pendulum now swung to Jonathan. And so what's his name? Buhari. Now it's Fulani. Okay. Now when Obasanjo was there was tendency for OPC to also rear its head. Remember the OPC issue that time. So I think the political class must first of all look at Nigeria as one indivisible constituency. Not when you are Equatorial president, then everything must be Equatorial. Or when you are Idoma president, it has to be Idoma. No. Once you are there, even where you are from, we pale into insignificance because the whole Nigeria becomes your constituency.
All right, Razak, an academician recently was saying that Nigerian leaders have never been patriotic enough. He was comparing Nigeria with leaders in Singapore, with leaders in Malaysia, with leaders even in Rwanda, in recent Rwanda right now. When it comes to the head of the country having a very large heart enough to accommodate the diversity of Nigerians. He was saying that no Nigerian leader has ever been that patriotic enough to, lift Nigeria to that level.
That's one.
What's your take? I agree with you with the slight definition that we used to have patriotic Nigerians. Soon as the first generation of our leaders left, I don't know what came in over our politicians. And the part of the fallback of the 1966 coup is what we are seeing battling up to today. A unitary system was designed under a country that is supposed to be federating. And that was the honors of our problem up to today. And since that time up to today, the structure makes it easy for them to have easy access to our fund. And none of them recognize the need to reverse the trend. All over the world now, the interest of the nation comes first. As little as Rwanda. Rwanda, of the population, they came out of their crisis. What led them to that? It was a big lesson to them. But our own civil war, we didn't learn anything from it. And that's why we are finding ourselves where we find ourselves today. That is why Nigerians themselves must begin to dissociate themselves from utterances, from ideologies, from leaders who have a capacity of leading the nation into further crisis. I believe in Nigeria. I want Nigeria to remain one. I want Nigeria in the future, in the immediate future, to be one of the best 10 economy in the world. A peace. Where I will go to any part of the country, I will sleep without the fear that a Fulani minimum is coming to cut my head.
You will go to Benin, take Banga there, and go to Benue and take pounded yam.
And became a complete Nigerian. Marry Fulani woman, marry Ijo woman, marry Igbo woman, marry Yoruba woman.
That will be interesting.
That will be very interesting.
Are you promoting polygamy?
I'm a polygamist.
No, of course. He's a proper African. That's interesting. It's really nice. But Nigeria has always been a beautiful country.
All
of this diversity.
When we were growing up, I knew a good
We will
Nigerian
get
time.
there.
Exactly.
We will get there. First of all, the unity and the togetherness of Nigeria will be put together.
Yeah,
we'll get
so
there. We'll
that's
back
what
there. Thank you very much, Charles, for coming. Thank you, Razak Olokoba. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.